Yes, we are live now, Jessica. So welcome
Yes.
all the listeners. This is once again your host, Shailesh from New Zealand World News Positive, bringing you real people with real talk and real experiences and real wisdom. So today we have the pleasure to bring to you all the way from France, but don't worry, she's maybe from France, but she's our Kiwi now. She's in New Zealand and in one of the most beautiful cities of New Zealand, which is Christchurch. And we are the pleasure to invite Jessica. Jessica Aspromonte is from France, but she lives in Christchurch. And today we are going to uncover a lot of her life journey. It's going to be very interesting because when you move from one country to another, or when you move from one location to another, one place, it's always a great challenge for a human journey. And what more than we could learn or we could understand from each other. So today with this Real Connections show, we are really connecting with Jessica Aspromonte today. So welcome, Jessica, to our show and bringing you live. We are going live on you with regards to your life journey. We will be talking a lot and uncovering more, and hope our listeners will be taking something out of these beautiful conversations that we are going to have today. So welcome, Jessica. Welcome on to
Thank you very much.
Yes. So tell us about something a little bit. Jessica, I would not describe her. Let her describe. The journey starts from her. So Jessica, tell us more about you, something, and then we will dive into it about your life journey since you started your understanding the whole human journey that we live all, but how it is that we make a difference to each other. So tell us something more about you first. Start with what do you do and what sort of your personality is all about. Over to you.
Okay. Yes, thank you. So I created my own company called The Perfect Match, and I just help people who want to be buying and selling by connecting them with the right agent. So I created actually that company because I have realized over the years that people lost their trust in the real estate agent. So I wanted to actually restore the trust in between vendors and sellers and also real estate agents. So I've been actually in New Zealand for 12 years.
Wow.
I was first in Iraqi Mountcook. So I lived there with my partner for 4 years or so. And then we've moved to Lake Tekapo for 5 years. And now we've been in Christchurch for 2 years. Wow. In Tekapo, I had my own business already. I was a property manager for Airbnb. And then I moved to Christchurch, got a first job as a business developer. For Harcourt's property management. And then after that, developing business for some small real estate agent companies. And then I decided to go on my own just to provide a better service to vendors and sellers, really.
No, that's great. Tell us something about, let's go back to your life journey now. What you do now is how you started, how you initiated, and what made you do that is very important for all the listeners and for myself to ask you this amazing human journey that we create for ourselves. And I think what was the trigger point as a child? What were your desires, dreams that every human has? However, how did you put yourself into different aspects of human journey that we all have? But what were you doing, and what was your really trigger point to get into where you are today? And how did your transition happen? So yeah, let's talk about that. Tell us something about it.
Yes, I think I always like to do a bit what I want, to be honest. So I guess working, for yourself give you much more flexibility. You're more like independent, right? So you end up just managing your own time. So I think always been, even back in France, kind of the person that I do listen to people, don't get me wrong, but I also have my own ideas. And I'm really, like hard worker and and I just like to challenge myself, I think it's what's been happening. I just wanted to challenge myself.
Oh, that's great. That is the hard part, isn't it? Challenging others and challenging yourself. So where do you start? What's your journey like as a human? How did you created that challenge for yourself? What's your
Tough.
mindset into that?
Well, challenging it just, I think it's an everyday thing, really. Like over the on Saturday, I went to do a filming with Walter Nilens. That was a big challenge because I never spoke in front of a camera. Today, doing a podcast, it's another challenge again because I never done that before. You know, so I think it's just, as it's your own business, you end up being more creative. You end up pushing yourself more because you know it's your business. And if you don't succeed, no one else going to do it for you. You
Yeah,
know,
but
and I
that is,
think it's really important.
but isn't it that's the two fine lines? One, you try to become independent on your own, whatever challenges, whatever right, wrong, you take it on your chin. And the other people or other humans, they think that, okay, let's depend on others. Let's take the, more help from others and then do your life or whatever you want to do. But
Yes.
what was your like thought process as a child, as a teenage, how did you grow out of that mindset?
How did I grow up? That's well, that's a good question. You just grow up by seeing what's happening all around you. You know, I mean, how people grow. And to be honest, it's, I think when you're a child, you just never know what to expect. You know, I mean, you have children, you know, and they grow and you're like, what's going to happen when they start to face the outside world, you know? Because we do have challenge every day. It's not just building your own company. It's just like every day you have a challenge, you know, you have a challenge bringing up your family, you know, you have a challenge trying to find a job to actually feed your family, you know. I think it's every day you do have a challenge, you know, and since I was younger, of course, I had challenge already, you know, had challenge. I just
Yeah.
challenging with my family, having a bit of hard times like many people had. And it's one of the reasons I actually moved to New Zealand. I was just getting a bit, you know, really quite a lot at the moment with my family. So I just decided to, yes, just to go away and just to explore. Exploring is challenging
Right.
yourself again, I guess.
Jessica, I just want to interrupt here because it seems like there is not enough light on your face. Is that something, there is a dark around you?
Is that, maybe I should move?
Now better. Yeah, that's what
Okay. Sorry about that.
that's I was thinking, like, why are you saying so dark? Sorry for the interruption, listeners, but here we go. We are continuing our beautiful conversations once again with Jessica. So yeah, we were just touching on the mindsets, and you come to New Zealand, that's also a big step to change that mindset also. But as a child, were you
Yes.
always like that, or as a child, and or you change yourself when you became a bit teenage, or when you begin grow old a little bit, to understand your surroundings, to understand the humans that you have to live with? And what do you want to achieve? What is your purpose? How did you recognize those, that to take such decisions, moving from even one location to another is also a challenge, but you should have that drive. You should have that self-realization that, hey, I want to do something. I am in this world and I want to create of my own something. How did you, because this is what I am fascinating and I would like to know more about you, is how did you make that transition from where you were as a child, as a teenage, and then now where you are? Like, what made you? Like, were you always independent? Were you always like that? Were you always a very, as a child, challenging?
Yeah, it was probably really a bit challenging for my parents, but I don't think I was that bad. So I think I end up being who I am now just by having experience like everyone, you know, as you just grow. Yeah, you just grow really. And we've been traveling, I guess just seeing a bit more what's happening in other countries really help you and help you grow inside, you know. And to be where I am now, that's more about me being flexible, and just be like, actually today I want to be doing what I want. I'm happy to be a mum, but I want to be more than a mum. I want to be able to use my skills, you know, I mean, that I have, and to explore and taking risk. Yes, we take a lot of risk, you know, when we are actually self-employed entrepreneur, you know, it's a big risk. But I decided to take the risk because I believe in what I do, and I think it's really important. So yeah, when I was a child, I probably took quite a bit of risk. Was I crazy? Oh, I don't think I was. But I think it's more like over the years, it wasn't necessary, because I spent a lot of time with my family. My family was like every weekend we went walking. We had to wake up and go for 5 or 6 hours, even 8 hours walk sometimes, you know, and it was all about the family. Being together, you know, helping each other. So that was quite strong. Yeah, strong belief in the family. And then I think when I just left France, I just started to explore more and more, going to different countries I've never been before, you know. So I think it's just, it's a mix of different experiences. That's what I would say.
So do you think the support that you got, or the support of family or your loved ones or the near dear ones who are always there, and then that support leads to confidence in you to become or explore independent many things? Is that what we can happen with you? Was it something that you could share your wisdom to the listeners, that support is so important that you can develop confidence from there, and then you can do whatever you like, because then everything is supported by your own people? Is that something?
Yes, yes, I agree. I think to have the support is really important. And when you tend to maybe not have that support, is probably the best, like many people do, is actually go away from negative people, negative thoughts, because if you are willing to build yourself, you know, just to grow, you can't be surrounded by people who have actually a negative attitude. So the problem is when you start a business like mine, which is like a new business, a new role, it's a lot of challenges, and people don't necessarily understand, where is she going? What is she doing? You know? And then after that, I think it's more like an inside voice. Like I said, it's more like an instinct. It tells you, yes, I probably don't have all the support I wanted to, but I know that what I'm doing is worth it. I know that what I'm doing, it's going to work, you know? So I think it's also a lot what you have inside, you know, I mean, that eager, that, just a desire to really do something that actually please yourself.
That's right. That's very well said, because, you know, normally people end up doing to please others, but to please yourself is the key for anything you want to achieve. But did you had any challenges, like your own friends sometimes, or your own people around you would be saying negative, or would be saying that you can't do this, you can't do that, don't do this, do only this way, because the system, the traditions have brainwashed many surroundings of our people? It's nothing that they may be right or wrong. It's not about that. It's about just the way we are grown up into a system, and then we're made to believe things. But then coming out of that comfort zone, how did you put yourself into that positive mindset?
So like I said, definitely people will come along and tell you, but you know, you've been trying to do that for a wee while. Why don't you find a 10 or 15-hour job a week? You know, like, because the problem is also in the real estate industry, you are commission based most of the time. So that really add another, you know, more pressure, because you actually have to be waiting sometimes 3 months to be paid. In my case, I have to wait for the house to be sold to be paid, as I have an agreement with the agent. So this definitely add more pressure. Plus the current market at the moment does not really help. Houses are still selling, but it could take a bit longer, you know, I mean, or there's less people who want to be putting their house in the market. So I do listen to people, but I make also my own peace of mind. And some companies I used to work for, so they say, you sure you want to be doing that? Why people will go with you, not with an agent straight away. And even, yeah, I guess my family, because it's something so new and unique, people are a bit scared. I think many people are scared of the unknown,
Exactly.
It's what I
Yeah,
found out.
exactly.
It's even a few days ago, someone told me again, it's like, okay, I'm just telling you what you created here.
Mm-hmm.
There's not even a niche. You're starting it from scratch. You're starting a new company. You're starting actually a new role. It's like a building a rocket ship. And I like
Mm-hmm.
that expression.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe I am actually building a rocket ship, but I know
Mm-hmm.
it's worth it, and I'm really confident.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've sold 3 houses. We have a lot on the go, and I love prospecting, hunting all the time, finding opportunities. And I'm not scared. I know that is going to become something really popular, what I'm doing, and people will come to me more and more. So yeah, I'm quite confident. I think that's why. Yes.
Yeah, I want to put a context to this, your profession that you are in today, and that the mindset that you have created on your own today. Like many people, as you said rightly, that they are very scared about the unknown. They are scared about the fears that whether they will achieve or they won't achieve, that kind of limbo situation. It is like, a farmer telling a farmer that grow the seeds, but he doesn't know whether the seeds grown is going to be grown into a full thing or not. He doesn't know until it grows, right? But then he puts all his intentions and positive efforts into that so that he knows and he's confident that at least what he has done with wholeheartedly, he will achieve something, right? So this is something like a bit of like that for you in your profession, that you don't know whether you will sell your house or not, and whether you will get your commission or not, and how long will it take, you don't know. In living into that moment, it's in itself is a challenge. But first and foremost, how do you prepare your mindset for that? Because, everybody wants now, everybody wants today.
Yes, that's right. I mean, I think you are for it or you're not. It's a big roller coaster. It's
Yeah.
what people say. It's a really tough, it's a really tough job to work for real estate. You have your disappointments, and I think you have to learn along the way that sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
That's
But we're
right.
part of the game, what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't try, you don't know. And
Mm.
I just try to not give up. And I
I
think that's
agree.
what makes the difference.
Mm. Yeah, if you don't try, you don't know. I agree totally on that.
Mm.
So, in terms of your moving forward, like when you decided to get into this profession, but before that, you wanted to come, what were your challenges? What were you doing before this getting into real estate? Or were you always interested in real estate, or were you change your mindsets to adapt to what you want to achieve? You do so many things to achieve so many things, and there is nothing right or wrong, but it's all about, I want to achieve this today or this year today and this next year or whatever. We keep achieving that. But in that zone, what were you before the real estate? What were your likings or
Oh,
dislikings?
yeah, I was more into, doing a lot of reception, to be honest, a lot into walking,
Mm-hmm.
trekking. So outside, I do miss, I'm not going to lie, like exercising, but it doesn't come
Of course.
necessarily with the job. It's also because I have a family,
Mm.
so we just don't hike like we used to 12 hours in a
Mm.
weekend or things like that. So things have changed. But what I did is adapt myself. So I decided to create a job that
Mm-hmm.
will actually meet my expectations.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big challenge. So what happened is I was developing a company. So like I say, Harcourt's property management. And I was in front of my computer thinking, I think I'm worth more than that,
Mm.
I know I have a retainer, have a bit of commission, but I wanted more. I had a feeling inside me that I could be doing something bigger. Thanks
Mm.
to my skill of being a prospector, hunter, creating opportunities. And I was like, why not? I think I'm really good at finding opportunities for real estate.
Right.
And so when I start working with another small company here in Christchurch, I think the company was a bit too small for me to actually really expand my potential. And I was like, no, I think what I have to do, it's actually work with any company I want and any agent. And to do that, I had to take another step. That was actually to create my own company, to meet people's expectations better. But that was hard because when you do create your own company, you have no one really supporting you in a way. You have no one at the top. So everyday life is, you have to make your own decisions. You know, I mean, it could be tough, you know. I was like, what am I going to do today? And I've got a lot of thoughts and I know I can do so much, but then I also have a restricting time because, you know, I have children so I have this time only and I try to be as proactive as possible. I do meet quite a lot of people also every week and creating more opportunities. But I think it's what happened really. I was like, I need to find a job that give me that flexibility to be staying with my kids if they are so unwell, because I'm working from home, so that's perfect. And also working during the school hours. I love dealing with properties, but do I want to be a real estate agent? I was like, maybe not. Many people say you should pass the license. You will be a great real estate agent. And it keeps coming in my brain. I'm like, yes, I know, but I don't think that's what I want to do, you know? So that's why I was like, I need to find a middle job. And so I'm the middle woman. I'm the person in between the transaction. Well, I mean, I'm not really involved with transaction, but in the middle of, I propose the service of the agent, you know, I mean, but I can still help vendors and sellers be connected doing this part, you know, and I love talking to people. So that was just perfect for me.
Right. Yeah, that's another thing, right? Whatever you like, whatever you identify yourself that you like and that you are passionate, it's always to give a chance to yourself to explore that. The problem is people know their skills, but they don't give an opportunity to themselves to explore. And they fall into the trap of only following others. And that is one of the things that then they, at one point, they start regretting because they are not liking it, because they are doing only following someone. They are not doing on their own for their own good, right? So for you, tell us something about in that context, like, you know, how to, for all our listeners who are listening, like one thing I could see from you is like, you know, open to most of the things, but open to your own likings and your own passion that you want to explore. That's the most important thing you have to learn from yourself, right?
And I think it's really important is just to do a job that you like. I'll give you an example. Over the weekend, like yesterday, I was at the pools with my daughters and I started talking to a lady and she said to me, oh yeah, I don't like my job. And I said, what, just change it. And I started telling her what I did. I said, well, if you're not happy in your job, if you have a bit of saving, there's no reason why you can't actually do what you want to do. You have a well-paid job. So, you know, it doesn't mean you can't change it. Just do what you like. There's too many people out there that actually don't like the job they do. So just change it. You can.
But I guess it's the fear. That's the challenge that they have. And it's the uncertain and the unknown. And they are brainwashed into a pattern that they need regularly or every week or every day they need to happen something that they think that is the way the life is, that every day, if they know what is happening, then they feel this is the life. Whereas to me, or to what you are saying, is knowing the unknown, or even there is an unknown thing, still exploring. That's the most beautiful part of your life journey. Then knowing something and then expecting that same thing, which is what happened to most of the people after COVID. That's what I heard from lots of people, that what they were doing were not able to do. What they were expecting, what they were not getting that every single day. And so people in people like you or like others who are into the mindset of unknown, ready for unknown and territory things, where they were fearless. They don't have to be fearful to get into anything. So those people were okay. But people who were always in fear were were not able to do what they wanted to do because they were all set into that mode like a machine. Like they want every morning this, every afternoon this, every evening this. But COVID, they were not getting it. So, but people who were ready for this, they survived, I guess, from mental health or from all sorts of other things. Now, how do you put yourself? How did you manage during that COVID time? What was your journey?
So during COVID, I was actually working for another company, really. I wasn't at that time self-employed, so I didn't have that pressure. I did in a way, but not as much because I was still kind of a little bit paid. But if I was right now, we had COVID, let's say right now, and that would be hard. That would be definitely really hard. It's probably why many people probably, I guess, left real estate, you know, the industry. I think a way to survive, it's always challenging yourself and trying to look for some new opportunities. Like I've got all of these ideas and I keep trying different things. It's not like, you know, I don't only do two things when I prospect. I've got a wide range of things. I'm like, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. You know what I mean? So I think it's where you have to be really creative and really use your brain of what next, you know, what can I do? You know, and even if you want to be no, I don't know, just like connecting with that person, or if you decide to, let's say you're in New Zealand, you decide to move to Australia, or maybe not right now, in a few years time, why not you trying to create already some connection right now with some people that live in Australia, let's say for you when you would be moving there for work, whatever. And it's what I try to do. I think I try to plan ahead for a lot of things, and I think even if it doesn't help me right now, I know it will help in the future.
I think that's a great way of living your life, isn't it? Like planning ahead of everything because you have got that mindset and skill and you got that power to do that. Whereas most of the people, I think that they don't want to be looking at the future ahead. They just sometimes wants to just decide that this is what I want and this is what if I don't get, then they get rejected or depressed. But if you live in that mindset, okay, whether I want after 2 years or after 2 months, doesn't matter. Thinking now is what I can do because I have got the power to think, right? That's a better way of living.
And make you feel good, you know. I think when you achieve something that you work your brain and you try to really use it, make you feel good, because I'm not going to lie, but when you know, you start having children, you have to dedicate yourself. Having worked for maybe quite a few years, really like just doing what I wanted to do. And I couldn't really, I think, use my brain like I wanted to, you know, really like I said, to be someone else than just a man. No, I'm not a man, just a woman, you know. I just a mom, sorry. I wanted to be also a woman, you know. And so that's why, to have that power again, to be like, I can think again, I can think on my own, and I can actually achieve something if I wanted to. It's really rewarding, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you have already planned for it and then it happens. It's like a great surprise, but then that's the beautiful feeling you get. And if you don't plan, and then if you don't think, but you still get it, that's normal because that's like a subconscious process. However, the conscious process is to think ahead, that you are consciously doing something that you want to achieve. And that's a beautiful way of looking at life. I guess to all listeners, as you can see, Jessica is not just trying to live a life, but trying to create a life by putting herself into that forward-thinking mode. And achieving things that one would only imagine. But that's where our imagination is put into visions, and visions then put into implementation, and then everything happens because she is creating a big tool and access around her by thinking ahead, and then everything falls into place, basically. So that's
And not
beautiful.
giving up.
Yeah. I guess that's
So I was going to say, not giving up. Like, you do think about giving through that journey. You do think about, oh, maybe I should give up, or maybe I should give up. It's getting too much. It's getting too much. But I think you have to learn to balance it all in a way. And when you feel like you're getting too much, which means that maybe you need to have some me time. I mean, you have to refocus on yourself and actually spend some time. I know you have all of that to do, but maybe just take a bath, I mean, and just relax and just do what you like to do, because it could be really overwhelming. It could be, yes, just too much. It does happen for all of us, and you just have to know your limits and be like, no, I have to stop now before it's too late. And you're not going to end up being any more proactive. You're not going to be proactive at all if you end up just pushing yourself too far. So you just have to know your limits.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us something about where you are now. Where is Jessica now in her mindset, in her thinking? Is that the same thinking, or is it has changed many times, but still in the good space, in a peaceful mind, in a peaceful way?
I think I got more confident. I got more confident. I've got a lot of let down, and just obviously, like I said, that big roller coaster thing. But no, I just learned how to deal with it. I mean, I'm like, I know I'm maybe not getting that listing sign up, or yes, and I will be not frustrated about it. I'm just learned to go more with the flow, and to be like, it happens, great. It doesn't happen, it's okay. There's so many more opportunities that we just don't stop on that one, keep creating opportunities. I think that's what happened. It's like, don't stop creating opportunities, and you'll feel good. My mindset is great. Learning, I guess, every day something new, learning to be more confident also in front of the camera. Like I said, we've done the shooting, filming on Saturday for like 5 hours or so. So that was really intense. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, of course.
But I think after that, I should be more confident also to do some videos on my own, because nowadays social media is really important, and people want to see what you're doing, how you're doing it. And it's how you create also your popularity. It's by showing what you do, showing your success, showing your personality, showing your real,
And that's what is more needed in the current world, rather than the fake news or the fake things that people post to please others. It's not about that. It's about being authentic, but also being unapologetic in what you do and what you do. So yeah, that's a great way of looking at things, Jessica. So Jessica, where to now from here? In the future, what's your future kind of things that you have already adapted to a mindset, which is you're not going to get, I mean, every human still has got some or the other challenges in terms of their whatever setback, whatever emotional distress or stress. Do you experience those kind of things? And then in that, the way you are thinking at the moment, how do you deal with that depression, or sometimes stress, or sometimes, too much things to do, too many things to do, too little time with your family, kids, and everyone? How do you make yourself that room, in terms
I know it's really challenging, isn't it? Like, I used to be really involved of maybe doing more work in my house, and now I'm like, no, the work in my house and just tidying up the laundry and all of these things going to have to be second. I need to be focusing for a few hours on doing my job, because I'm not here to constantly be doing some jobs in the house. It's not what I want, even if I'm at home. So I think it's important to also take time for you. I try every day to go for a walk for 40 minutes or an hour, even if I only have 5 hours really between the time I drop off my kids and go and collect them again. I still try to take some time for me. I know I have a lot to do, but if it's not really, really urgent, it can go to the day after. I try to not pressure myself too much like I used to. And it's really important, because otherwise what happens is you stress yourself, you have all of that to do, and you just end up not doing anything because you're overwhelmed. Your thinkings are not straight. Yeah.
So I think that's a great way of, again, putting it things to all the listeners that, you may be overworked, you may have a lot of work, but I think how to make it more effective for that particular moment, that particular day, whatever you want to do, you can still do it, and you can put everything for next day or day after, because that's not your priority for that particular day. And that is something, a beautiful way of looking at things and doing things, rather than getting overwhelmed, overexhausted, and burnout, and thinking, oh, I haven't achieved this, I haven't completed this today. And then you get more stress rather than completing the task, right?
Exactly. I mean, yes, you can still do it tomorrow if it's not like super urgent, or maybe you can do it later on in the evening when your kids are sleeping, or just depend what it is that you haven't done really at the end of the day. But it's just important to refocus also on yourself, because like you say, if you do have a burnout, you might end up just having a week off actually. Not just a few hours, that would be probably a week at least. So yes.
No, that's so cool. That's so great. So, Jessica, I'm now going to ask you a few things that, in terms of your life journey, that all the listeners are listening today, and the way you have lived and the way you have carried yourself in terms of your life journey, but also your mindsets and also your priorities. And in spite of, you are just a normal, like every other normal human being, has got family, has got kids, has got things to do. Still, you create your own. Still, you are not dependent on others in terms of what you want to achieve for yourself. And that's the key, that how to, satisfy yourself first, which is what I could hear from all these conversations today that we had. Was beautiful to know that, satisfying others is easy, but satisfying yourself could be challenges. But then when that's the best thing that you could do, is like satisfy yourself first rather than every other things that you around you.
Because if you feel good, if you feel good, everyone else around you will feel good too. So it's important you actually take care of yourself too. It's not always your partner or your kids. It's also you. If you feel good, everyone else will feel good around you.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's your message to all the listeners today? In terms of, you're almost coming to an end, but so I wanted to ask you, what's your message to all the audiences who are listening to you and understanding your little journey that you had and that you are having currently? And then we'll dive in a little bit about let's dive in. Before that, I'll ask you this question. So the perfect match is a beautiful concept that you created in terms of helping people, in terms of supporting people. And that perfect match is what everybody's looking for in life, is how do I have a blissful moment, one blissful moment or one peaceful moment, which is the perfect match. As they say, the magnetic only attracts each other when they get attracted, right? And that's the perfect match at that point. In terms of that, how did this concept came into your head that, oh, this is the way I want to see myself, that I am a perfect match or I can do a perfect match? It's a big responsibility, but also it's a great achievement to understand, right? What was going through your mind when you concepted this?
Well, I think, like I said, just wanted, I thought it was a gap in the real estate industry, because I wanted to create opportunities for vendors and sellers, and also for agents. And like I said, I love prospecting, finding opportunities. And I was like, what can I do to actually be working with the vendors and also be working with the agent? And And I was like, why not be able to actually not work with just one agent, any agent I want, any company, to be able to help vendors and sellers to connect them with any agent I want, you know, that I have handpicked. And the perfect match came because I thought about, oh, maybe it would be like a match. And then, oh, perfect match. Yes, perfect match. It's more like a dating website. Yes, I know. But perfect match could be really catching. If I say to people and I had it, like they look at my card and they're like, oh, the perfect match is dating. And that's just start the conversation. You know, I think it's really captivating. And in a way, it's a perfect match because I do propose an agent to the vendor seller, I put them together. And if they're happy, I mean, it's a long-term relationship created, you know, it's not just a one-off. If that person has other properties, they should be also going back, or we hope, with that same agent, you know. So I believe creating that perfect match is actually, yes, really, I don't know, really exciting, I would say, because, and yeah, I think vendors and sellers are feeling also much more confident, you know, and if we can be saving them time and money by connecting them with the perfect agent, you know, why not trying it? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So that's great. And thank you so much, Jessica, for this beautiful perfect match concept that you have created, which I think more and more people will be interested and inclined to at least get that perfect. Because in today's world, it's very hard for someone to give their knowledge and wisdom and connect, basically, because everything is looked at in a manner of I want now and I want at this moment, rather than, okay, wait for the right moment, or wait for the perfect moment, or wait for the perfect match. They don't want in that time. And in this era of today, in the modern day of world, that you have created this concept where where they don't know, you put lots of hours, lots of time goes into it. And that's what I wanted to make understand to all the listeners, that perfect match is maybe a simple 2 words or 3 words. However, it takes a lot of efforts and a lot of time to put in, and it's priceless. It's you can't value that time, basically. But when
it's a lot of hours involved, yeah.
Yeah. So, final message to all the listeners on this note. What is your final message to all the listeners? The life that you have created, the life that you would like everybody to make understand. It's not that you are giving any advice or it's your suggestions or opinion, but it's something that you have lived your life, and this is what has worked for you positively, which everybody can listen and take it from there and then make their own. What will be your final message to all the listeners?
I think just don't give up. Just don't give up and follow your dreams. I think, you know, really important that if you're not happy where you are now, and if you don't like your job, you do have other opportunities. You don't have to stay where you are. You can create your own opportunities like I did, you know.
Right. Correct. No, very well said. Very well said. So all the listeners, as you can see, Jessica has given us a good mantra that first thing is don't give up. Because life is not about giving up, but life is about creating opportunities and taking those opportunities and creating those opportunities into real things that you would like to make out of it. So that's something that we have understood from Jessica's life journey. I hope all the listeners, if you have any questions, and yes, here is a thing, the concept, the perfect match that she has created, we'll send you all the information about her emails, and you can please get in touch with her to all this beautiful, if you want to have that perfect match concept, and not only concept, but you must be looking for something or the other, or someone must be looking for something or the other. But this is where happens magic, when there is a perfect match, when there is a two communication. And unless you communicate, unless you explore, as we learned from her conversation, unless you do it on your own, unless you do what you like and what you are passionate about, nothing works. But as far as Jessica is concerned, everything has worked the way she has pushed herself, the way she has understood her own journey, understood her own passion and liking, and then kept on changing into those different beautiful moments that she has created. And there is nothing stopping you guys, as Jessica said. When she said, don't give up, people have got lots of things in their life, overwhelmed with work, overwhelmed with family, social, everything. But that's where people start to give up things. And what her message is very clear: don't give up, basically. So I take this a great learning opportunity for myself as well, that whatever you guys do, keep doing up, don't give up, and always, pursue your dreams, always pursue your passions that you want to. This is what I would say. So I take a beautiful, out of this conversation, I take one thing, Jessica, thank you so much, because I have learned that, yeah, life is too short to worry about so many things, but also life is not wasted of time when you put time and efforts to create this perfect match. Lots of time goes, but that's not a waste. That's the most beautiful moments that you try to create with good intentions. Happens, doesn't happen, it's not the right or wrong answer. There is no right or wrong answer. It is, as I said, it is more like you are sowing the seeds and you are making it happen for everyone, just like a farmer does.
Yes.
Right?
That's right.
So, to end this conversation on that note, is there any final word, Jessica, that you would like to say, and then we can close?
Well, I would just say thank you very much for the opportunity to come just to have a podcast with you. So it was great. And I look forward to doing more podcasts, and just, hopefully people really enjoyed our conversation. Yes. And if they have any question, we're more than happy to answer to any of the questions. But keep it up. Yes, don't give up, and just stay positive. You can do it.
That's the word. Final word, listeners. You can do it. Don't give up, and you can do it. These beautiful two words, I make this conversation end here. But yes, I would love to bring Jessica once again back into different topics, different mindsets, and different conversations. But definitely a great conversation today. Thank you so much once again, Jessica, for doing this to our show. New Zealand World News always tries to improve and always tries to bring real people like you who can give real and share their real wisdom and experiences to all the listeners. Once again, here is the final word from you. Don't give up, and you can do it. I stress this point, you can do it. Thank you so much once again, Jessica.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Look forward to meeting you once again.
Same.
Bye for now, all the listeners.